While some bad fights can be considered as guilty pleasures and still be enjoyable, other bad fights are just guilty of being about as exciting as watching paint dry.
But have you ever had a fight like this against anyone, even in your younger days?
No, not even in the amateurs. We'd always thought better to fight like that. If you're going to fight like that, you shouldn't even be in the ring.
Welcome back to SMB Boxing, and today we present to you another collection of fights that were either bad but entertaining, or spectacles that for various reasons were as painful as a hook to the liver to watch. Giovanni Lewis's debut win over Carlos Ramirez was undoubtedly one of the biggest mismatches in recent boxing history. Fighting on influencer boxer Jake Paul and DAZN's inaugural Most Valuable Prospects card in Florida in 2023, Lewis, the MVP in this case, was always going to fight a limited opponent in his maiden outing. However, despite the 0-1 Ramirez labeling himself as a street fighter and adopting the Terminator as his nickname, describing his boxing skills as limited, will be way overselling his actual ability in the ring.
Gentlemen, first out, Carlos Ramirez, nicknamed the Terminator. Cawley, that name, that sounds a little vicious there.
That's a lot to live up to, man.
Dan, he referred to himself as a street fighter coming into tonight. Definitely sporting the look here with the bucket hat and the tank top.
Like a video game character almost.
I think this should be a good one. The Terminator, 5'4" Terminator, love that. Let's see if he brings that street sense into the ring.
Within a few seconds of the featherweight fight, Ramirez's awkward stance, along with a terrified look on his face and punches that looked like a cat scratching, gave him away as a total novice, and Lewis took less than a minute to find enough meaningful blows to force the Terminator to say "Hasta la vista, baby" to the contest.
And I gotta admit, well, Paulie, what are you seeing so far here from Carlos Ramirez?
I'm seeing a guy who doesn't belong here. Yeah.
Right hand there from Giovanni Lewis. This is not anything that you would teach in your gym, Paulie.
He's like the poster child for nervousness. Look at his face. I mean, he just looks so nervous then. Ramirez.
That might be the first person I've seen bite through a mouthpiece if you're Ramirez.
Big right hand from Lewis. Well, you see a guy in here clearly like overmatched. If you're Lewis, you just gotta step on the guy, right? Get him out of there.
Yeah, there's no need to time this guy. Actually, he's too awkward to time anyway.
Oh, gee. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's it.
Yeah, he didn't even know how to hold there. He didn't have enough experience to even know how to hold.
That is it, and that is all. Yeah, Giovanni Lewis had really no, this is one-way traffic, guys. There was no resistance. Like you said, Paulie, I don't think that my man Ramirez even belonged in this ring. And the Terminator without a license to kill here today, folks.
Anything but.
Heavyweight journeyman Mario Cawley was something like the Tin Man of boxing. While you had to give him some credit for stepping into the ring, the problem was as soon as he tasted a bit of leather, especially against a renowned puncher, he wanted out.
Because in his last 9, he's lost 8 times and he's been knocked out 6, and he takes one to the head and goes down.
Right now, Cawley looking to verify what we were touching on early, like he doesn't want to be in that ring.
He waits till 9.
He did not want to be there. And now, I'll be careful about it. I understand it was not me getting hit. But I've been around this business a long time. I will take a risk of saying that that was not a significant punch.
In 2003, Cawley must have been offered a big paycheck as he agreed to take on a man who arguably scored the most brutal finish in boxing history against Tommy Morrison in 1991, the former heavyweight champion Ray "Merciless" Mercer.
Merciless Ray Mercer!
As advertised almost as soon as the opening bell rung, the well past his prime Mercer found out that the 11-year younger Cawley had no intention of winning the contest, as he repeatedly tackled him and went down to the canvas following little contact from the former champion.
Cawley a little bit nervous against the big punching Ray Mercer. He almost brought him down WWF style. It's a sloppy affair. He wants it to be a professional prize fight. And Cawley is down with an uppercut. And no, he wanted to get out, and Ray kind of disgusted with the amount of performance he's getting from Mario Cawley.
Cawley looks scared. Gamble or something. And he's going to tackle. One more time of that tackle. I'm going to take one out. Come on.
I want to see Ray get a little bit of work in him. And again, he grabs him. Now he's going to take a point away.
Come on. You. One tackle.
As had been the case in his past fights, a point deduction in the opening 80 seconds of the bout made no difference to Cawley's MO, and he officially hit the deck twice before merciless Mercer mercifully ended the spectator suffering with a debatable but welcome knockout in the 3rd round.
And Ray might as well throw that right hand and dispose of the guy.
No, he never got hit. Get up. He wants to go down and he can't.
And Brian Gary won't have any part of it. He's not letting him get down.
Stop. Mario Cawley's treating this ring like it's jail. He wants to be out of here. I'm going to take a second point. You hear me? Let's go.
Again, everybody kind of in attendance disgusted, and Ray wants to end it as quick as he can.
Cawley's trying to be disqualified.
There's a cracking shot, and down he goes that time. And he does get up. How about that? He cracked him right behind the skull. Counts up to 5 and takes a standing 8 count.
7.
So Cawley goes down after losing points and nearly disqualified in the 1st.
And George Foreman prolonged a lot of people's careers.
And finally he goes down, and Ray does catch him as he goes down. Ray a little bit disgusted himself the way it's going. He doesn't take another standing 8 count.
Don't hold him down.
All right. Cawley goes down to the bell.
Ray.
Let's see what happens.
Get over and hit him after the bell there.
No, he said he was hit after the bell. After the bell, so it's no knockdown. All right, let's see if he gets beyond 3. Cawley hangs on again. He's trying to get himself disqualified.
He hasn't, and when he's been upright, he's been looking to get disqualified.
I think that's it for him. That's his excuse to quit right now. Up to 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9. He's not getting up. It's all over. A 3rd round knockout for Ray Mercer.
Mario Cawley was petrified, and he fought a petrified fight.
Thankfully, women's boxing has come a long way since Chantel Cordova and Unity Young met in one of the most pointless rematches of all time in June of 2006.
And believe it or not, Cordova will have a 3-inch height advantage on little Unity Young. 5 foot tall, 98.25 pounds. Don't sneeze, Teddy, she may go.
The pair debuted against each other 4 months earlier in an untelevised bout, which Cordova won by stoppage in the 1st round. But because of the lack of suitable opponents around at the time for Cordova, her first outing in front of live television cameras was a second fight against Young, who quite simply had no idea about boxing and shouldn't have been in the same ring as the highly touted prospect once, let alone twice.
Cordova wearing the gold and black trunks, Young in the blue.
Young is a southpaw, and a southpaw that might have some moxie, but you can see, technically, not very adept.
Well, if she stops hopping, I'll tell you what stance she's in. Eats a jab, puts her head down, and just swings forward.
You would wonder who would put somebody like Unity Young into a match on national television.
She turned her back.
Allow herself to possibly be hurt and to be embarrassed in this kind of way.
Listen, she's an amateur, a rank amateur. She shouldn't have a license to be a professional, this Unity Young in blue trunks. Because
don't get me wrong, she's got plenty of heart to climb those steps out of the locker room.
That's it. Fight's over.
And somebody with heart just threw a white towel into the ring.
All right, now here's the problem. The problem is that there are a lot of good female boxers out there, and we've seen plenty of them, from Layla Ali to Mary Jo Sanders to Ann Wolfe and Chevelle Hallback and many, many, many others, Missy Fiorentino. And they're dying for TV airtime, and they're skilled and they're professionals.
This does not help the cause of women's boxing.
While the Cordova-Young rematch clearly shouldn't have happened, the second encounter between bitter rivals Tony Bellew and Nathan Cleverly was definitely warranted.
Okay, well, tell you let's do it right now. We can do it right now. Rat.
Gentlemen, we apologize again for the language there.
As you've just seen, the build-up to their first fight for Cleverly's WBO light heavyweight title in Liverpool in 2011 was feisty and led to an action-packed battle that went the full 12-round distance, and then saw the Welshman Cleverly keep his belt and hand Bellew his first defeat via a narrow majority decision.
And still, the WBO World Light Heavyweight Champion, Nathan Cleverly.
Cleverly gets it. Bitter disappointment for Tony Bellew.
By 2014, Bellew and Cleverly were both rebuilding their careers at cruiserweight, following stoppage defeats in world title fights at light heavyweight.
Oh, that should seal it. Oh, what a jab. Bellew leaves the best for last. Wow.
Show patience. He just wants to give a Ramirez an uppercut. That's the one that's doing all the damage.
It's destroying Coleman. That's 3 of them he's landed. And Coleman is shipping some serious punishment, and Richie Davis says that'll do it. And if you wanted to know what Nathan Cleverly looked like at cruiserweight, you just found out.
In July, the still feuding pair both fought on a fight card constructed around the premise of them rematching, and after both men picked up fairly routine wins, a joint interview at ringside pretty much confirmed that Bellew-Cleverly Part 2 was on.
I've already come to this hometown, Bellew's hometown, once. I've already beat this guy. 16. Guess what? I'm going to do it again.
Forget belts, forget everything. I just want to hit you. Believe
I'm going to spank you again. Again. Once more. I've already spanked you, and I'm going to do it again.
One thing's for sure, a lot of great fights get talked about, some don't get made. This one's going to get made.
Like the first time around, the build-up to the November 2014 rematch in Liverpool was tense and full of genuine needle between Bellew and Cleverly.
You put that face near mine, I promise you, I want you in the what you want to do, I'll put you in the floor.
As a result of the interest that the return meeting quickly gathered, UK broadcaster Sky picked up the sequel for pay-per-view and released a string of pre-fight shows to further boost the aptly billed repeat or revenge promotion.
No title on the line, but it's the grudge, the rivalry, the dislike for each other. We clash.
I am going to smash you from pillar to post, I promise you that.
This guy is a bully boy.
Who am I bullying?
You are getting bullied on November 22nd.
Who have I bullied? If anything, you're the one who looks down your nose at people, mate. There's not an hour that goes by that you don't come into my mind. Come 22nd of November, I'm going to exercise that,
I'm glad I'm so important.
I'm going to exercise that.
I'm glad I'm so important.
But you're only important because I'm fighting you, mate. On that note, are we done?
We're done.
Done. Good. Let's go. I'm starting to get annoyed now.
Damn.
After all of the hype, it's safe to say that the rematch between Bellew and Cleverly had almost no resemblance to their classic first dust-up at light heavyweight, and was a huge disappointment for boxing fans on the night.
Touch close.
From the first bell, Bellew adopted the role of aggressor, but looked a bit sluggish and struggled to land any punches of note on the uncharacteristically defense-minded Cleverly.
Conscious of the power that Bellew has.
Backing up there and forcing Bellew to miss, but the Liverpool man is on the front foot here.
Bizarrely, and what really weighed the overall quality of the fight down, was Cleverly's reluctance to throw anything other than a flicking left jab. In fact, statistics compiled by us show that the Welshman only averaged 8 right-hand punches per round, and hardly any of them were genuine power shots.
I expected to see Bellew imposing himself a bit more than he's doing. That is the problem. I mean, we're not really seeing a great deal of quality from either man.
Both missed.
See, there's so many missed punches.
The ropes just in front of us.
Cleverly toying with the jab there, not snapping it out.
The openings will come.
Now these are flicking jab, and they're point scoring, but there's nothing in them whatsoever from Cleverly. I mean, a lot of these punches that we're looking at from Cleverly, I mean, these are not really punches, Nick. You know, these are dabs, you know. I mean, you can't be impressed with that jab that Cleverly's throwing at the moment. You know, he's backing off and flicking the punch, you know, flicking the hand out. Because the glove lands, can we call that a punch?
Safe to say it hasn't caught fire. They just have not gelled or clicked at all.
The problem is, I mean, Bellew is missing so badly as well. So at the moment we've got one guy flicking with a jab and the other one missing wildly.
After 8 lackluster rounds, the rematch finally had some decent sustained action. However, it was mostly due to the fact that Cleverly was badly fatigued and spent almost all of the last 3 stanzas parked against the ropes.
Cleverly up against the ropes. The footwork's gone to pieces. There is no footwork.
Bellew was also visibly tiring and still missing with his punches an awful lot, but he definitely finished the underwhelming pay-per-view bout in the driver's seat.
Cleverly just can't move. He sets his feet, tries to come back with a few counters like that decent left hand to the body.
But these are just little pushes really from Bellew. I think he is almost exhausted as well. And that was a good shot. You got some leverage into that one.
No footwork at all. Great right uppercut there from Bellew. Nathan Cleverly, who's given everything he's got, and still he won't go. Right hand's raining down on him. Still he's trying to cover up.
After Bellew just about gained revenge over Cleverly with a split decision win, the fight stats truly reflected how poor the rematch actually was, with Bellew and Cleverly notably only having a 15% and 14% connect rate respectively.
And I don't like him now, but you know what? It's been settled tonight.
Perhaps the best thing to come from the anticlimactic second meeting was the fact that there was no rematch clause in the fight contracts, so talk of a final decider between Bellew and Cleverly in Wales promptly evaporated.
I'm so great, Carol. I've come to Liverpool twice. Maybe Eddie, can we get the return? Maybe in Wales Millennium Stadium. It's only fair.
In December 2023, 58-year-old Scott England, a former DJ and friend of Muhammad Ali, set a new Guinness World Record for being the oldest fighter ever to make a professional boxing debut. However, it's safe to say that his maiden appearance in the ring as a welterweight boxer didn't go as planned.
We are all about to experience a Guinness Book of World Records record.
Despite taking on a mediocre-looking opponent in Jashawn Hunter, who was 23 years old but had lost all of his first 6 fights, England was still woefully overmatched, and found out the hard way that you don't play boxing at any age.
In the black, got a record of 0-6. And the big shot! Down goes England! And his head slammed off the canvas. He seems to be okay. He's going to try to get up.
After going down heavily in the first 5 seconds, England seemed to talk the referee into letting him fight on. However, he was visibly unsteady on his feet, and less than 20 seconds later, his corner wisely signaled for the bout to be called off.
And this fight is over. Albert, you have no words tonight.
Nope.
Oh boy.
Other than a swollen nose, England came away from the contest completely fine. And although he was disappointed with the result, he was proud of all the hard boxing training that he had done, losing nearly 60 pounds to get himself down to welterweight, and for not quitting after being badly floored.
The ref could not have been any better.
Yeah.
He gave me the opportunity to get back up, and if I would have stayed down there and quit, I probably couldn't live with myself, to be honest.
While we respect England for whipping himself into shape and stepping through the ropes, we feel his historic debut fight against Hunter should have never been sanctioned, and that's the main reason we've included it in this list. Surely an exhibition or white-collar bout would have been better suited for England to begin with? Then maybe he could have ventured into the professional boxing game against a less experienced opponent? That's our opinion, but feel free to let us know your thoughts in the comments.
No going back. You got to live with it, and eventually I'll get over the disappointment, and I'll be proud that we got the Guinness record. I'll be proud that, hey, there's no long line of 58-year-olds trying to get in a boxing ring.
After beating a faded Mike Tyson and then losing to Vitaly Klitschko in a world title tilt, Danny Williams went from fighting 2 of boxing's all-time heavyweight greats in succession to taking on the unheralded Zoltan Petranyi. Following a 6-month layoff since his 4th career defeat against Klitschko in December of 2004, Williams required a tune-up fight, and on paper, Petranyi had an 18-14 record and seemed the perfect mix of experience and ability for Williams to look good against.
Shake hands, buddy corners.
However, a closer look at Petranyi's record revealed that it was filled up with a poor standard of opposition. And in front of a near full 22,000 capacity crowd on the Hatton Zoo undercard in Manchester, he turned out to be completely in over his head. But somewhat amusingly, a Rusty Williams still struggled to land a shot hard enough to put the Hungarian away for good.
Not short in experience record-wise, but some of these punches, very amateurish looking, very clumsy.
So they picked a pretty soft opponent, and even that jolt, he walked onto it, his legs seemed to buckle a bit.
Keep nice and sharp, get the punches home.
It's quite a drop down in class, isn't it, from Vitaly Klitschko to this. Looking to dig in punches, a right hand there, he was holding on. And yep, that's going to count. He's protesting about it, but there was a right hand, and it did have some effect, I think.
In total, Petranyi officially went down 5 times in under 3 rounds before the referee decided to wave off the farcical bout.
But Danny has to be careful, don't drop down to this fellow's level. I mean, this could be embarrassingly ugly.
Petranyi has won his last 6 fights, but all at 4-round level against some, pretty poor opposition, if we're true. Again, he just lost his balance then in the clinch. Petranyi, this is not an edifying spectacle so far.
Shouldn't be struggling with this standard of opposition. He's not struggling to win, but struggling to look good.
Just trying to measure him with the jab. Might be a little bit of rust.
Courage-wise, his reputation was enhanced. I think he's enjoyed a great deal of popularity since a little fancy shot round the back there.
That is the strangest punch I think I've ever seen anybody attempt.
As he came into the ring, so I mean, obviously he feels this fellow is way below his class, which he is. See, the first decent punch, all he needs is a decent jab, and this fellow will be completely discouraged, and probably we've just seen that happening now.
And another jab, and a very good one. He should be said brilliantly timed. This is all too much for this 38-year-old Hungarian. About $1 million for the Klitschko fight. Another right cross on the inside, and he's just going down from everything. Can't cope at all. I wonder how much more of this Mickey Bound the referee will want to see.
I mean, have you ever seen anybody look so novice-like?
Well, yes.
After 30-odd fight, I certainly haven't.
It really is a bit embarrassing, actually, this. They've gone a little bit too far. Now a body shot. He grabs on for dear life.
Danny actually smiled there. Surely that should be. I think that'll maybe give Mickey Van the excuse he needs. Stop this, Mickey, to save the spectators further punishment.
And to save Petranyi from further embarrassment. Yeah, he had to stop it. Way out of his depth, and I think they rather overdid it in terms of coming up with a soft opponent for Danny Williams in his first fight back after Klitschko. Danny Williams has gone from fighting the best heavyweight in the world at the moment to maybe the worst.
Yep, a good line. That could be an accurate assessment.
Thanks for watching. For whatever reason, what's a fight that you thought was bad and could be featured in part 3 of this series? Drop us your suggestions in the comments.
And Brian Sutherland knows nothing about boxing. He comes to this, he got into boxing because he was a street fighter, and he figured might as well get paid for boxing.